Also, I think the reason why the fairies, back on the whole fairy topic for heroes, is they're more like or the elves are more like fairies, is because the dragons are basically elves.
Not.
They are if they don't ever turn into dragons. Because they basically live forever, they've got the pointy ears. As most people are concerned, that's effectively an elf.
How do you explain the one hair color?
The one hair color on the dragons?
Yeah, it's green. At least if they're related to divinity.
Nah, they just happen to be elves with green hair. Maybe they're wood elves.
The short ones?
I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, you can make elves any color of hair you want. You can even make
of like, what kind of elves are these dragons? Are these the short dragon elves, or are these the tall dragon elves?
Yes.
I was just imagining Noe at like 9 feet tall, just towering above everyone. She's still like a child.
The 9-foot baby, what?
But then again, it's also funny to think of like 4 foot tall, like Tiki.
4 foot tall adult Tiki. Because 4 foot tall young Tiki is basically just young Tiki.
Or if you want more extreme, just 3 feet tall.
At that point, they might also be gnomes.
Gnomish dragon.
Yeah. Reminds me the campaign, the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I was in before I quit because trying to run a game on Discord is a pain in the ass. The DM hates all of the short characters, like basically all the short races. She just hates them, particularly gnomes,
Okay.
to the point that she has banned gnomes from all of her games. Even more to the point, in all of her custom worlds, gnomes don't exist. And so my friend Brody and I were we were in the process. Yes, make it weight 20.
I don't know, I'm just fucking around.
But all of the gnomes in the just no gnomes, and so we're like, okay, we're just going to create a story and call this halfling over here, or hint that this halfling over here isn't a gnome. And the only reason why there's halflings in this world is because one of the other players pushed the issue.
Okay.
It's like, oh, but we want to create characters that are children of our other previous characters, who at this point are basically gods. So, yeah, and that resulted in breaking the entire campaign because they get teleported to world, but they have to have halflings there, or else things don't work out. But the rest of us are natives, and then they just sort of take over the narrative of the campaign. It was problematic. That's why my friend Brody and I left, and we're just creating side stories to the campaign, completely unassisted by the DM, and so we just do whatever the hell we want. Like our first one, we were attacked by a pair of flying elves. So basically the Raven people, or not, no, I guess, yeah, the Raven people would work. But one of them was a bard, while the other was a wizard. And the bard played, was it bagpipes or was it the accordion? I don't know, but whatever it was, it allowed the dead to rise.
oh, sword, ew. He's a fucking gnat or some shit. Spot away. Hammer.
It works both as a staff and a hammer. Not a very good hammer, but it works.
It breaks shafts that fixes.
Construction Man Ike. Oh, I just thought of potentially an awful way for this game to be randomized, where you get nothing but priests, and then Titania as, you know, like a sage or a bishop or something like that. But everything that you get is a priest, and you're like, why? Why did you do this to me, game? That would actually be kind of funny to see how difficult that would be to complete. Where just Titania is the only one who can do damage. And even then, you could potentially make it so that she can't. Just make her a bishop that only has... yeah.
Oh, he capped skill.
Good man. And defense. But he capped that a while ago.
He also capped skill.
I forgot how, like, after playing Three Houses and Awakening and Fates, you kind of forget how low all the other games their capped stats are.
Well, it's 30's the highest of any cap stat, and that's usually luck. And like only a handful of classes actually have the full 30. Something that isn't luck. All the unpromoted classes cap 20 except for luck, which is still 30. And I think HP is 40 for unpromoted capped. And then promoted, I think it's 60 capped.
It's just strange when you're so used to seeing such large numbers in the other games, and then these games just like, oh, the numbers are a lot smaller.
That doesn't stop me from getting 100 crit.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Because Ike is a madman.
It's all because of Gamble. Hell yeah.
We need to get Ike. If only we could craft a hammer. It would be good time. We don't want that one, because it ruins Adept.
Yeah.
But just like a high crit hammer, we walk up to the Black Knight. Fight me! I have a 30% hit, but a 100% crit rate. I will kill you one way or another.
So yeah, it's because he has soul. This is where the game fucks up and he smacks 5 times in a row instead of one single time.
I'm the great Nefni. Fight me!
Well, if the dragons are elves, what the fuck are everything else? Like the beasts and the togwells and all them.
I said they're like elves. I mean, but yeah,
Yeah, so you're drawing
Yeah.
that parallel, so I would say what's the other parallel for everything else that isn't?
I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, you already have the beast folk.
Sure.
So you got like cat folk and kobolds. Though they don't technically have like a wolf folk, but they do have kitsune. Which, you know, they're all canines of some variety. Wolves and cats, basically, or wolves and foxes, they're all canines. Yes, wolves and cats, both canines, totally.
Oh, hey. Birdman doing this as well.
Ranulf, the Birdman. Not bad.
I feel like high as fuck bases, though.
Our Birdman to replace our other Birdman, who died.
Doesn't have any skills.
He's not as good as our other Birdman. Actually, he might be better than our other Birdman.
I was gonna say he's much better than fucking Soren ever was. What are you talking about? Well, maybe not Soren. Definitely better than Mist.
He has more attack than Soren, at least.
Oh, he's a hammer.
I don't remember this chapter.
It exists.
It is definitely a chapter, but I don't remember doing it. We gotta talk to him with Jill.
Yep. Caprez, cause fuck it.
His name's like, I'm not even transformed. Fight me.
And then
We can take your flame lance and then give it to
yes.
good old Mordecai. Plot armor Mordecai. Actually, that's what I'll probably name the other the previous episode is Plot Armor Mordecai. And just cut it right where we're forced to reset. He comes back.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
I had a feeling.
Whoa!
That tonight's gonna be.
Get goofy.
That tonight's gonna be a good night.
Oh.
Good times. My computer just BSOD'd.
Alright.
Your whole PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. We're just gonna collect some info and then we'll restart for you. I don't care. Do it now. Wait, why did you restart?
I forgot to give Oscar more tomes.
Oh. That is
He was
probably a
at
good
bed.
reason to restart.
Big fresh.
Now, if only he had the ability to use light magic as well.
Yeah, that's fuck behind bullshit.
I think what really happened is Microsoft was like, you know, he hasn't actually shut his laptop down in a long time, so we're gonna force him to restart his computer because we're evil. with a capital Vil.
What?
Yep.
I just fuck this man up.
Pow. Through the power of static electricity.
How did I get the longbow? How the fuck does that work?
Very carefully.
The lightning bolt just fucking splash the goddamn fucking bow over here.
Yep, that's totally how it happened. 11 out of 10 would do again.
That's an interesting way to fix it.
It does 1 damage on the... Or it does all the damage in the first strike, but then no damage in the rest.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny.
That's one way to do it.
Let's go, plot armor Mordecai.
I like he needs the plot armor. It's hard to kill as is.
Yep.
You got killed by bad luck last time.
I mean, the guy did have a... What was it, like a 40% crit rate?
No, it was like 30, but
Hmm.
he also had he had a 49 chance to hit or something like that.
Yeah, that was a series of bad luck.
Oh man.
Alright. So, Ranulph's stats. He's supposed to have the guard skill, but apparently he doesn't have one. Doesn't have it. Ranulph is a Raven King.
I think that's wrong, sure.
Base HP 15, 16 strength, 4 magic, 11 skill, 7 speed, 14 luck, 4 defense, 11 res. Growths of 75, 65, 40, 20, 30, 60, 45, 90. Let's see. We're also getting horror with base stats. Ooh, that's sad. Base stats of 17, 17, 6, 0, 7, 11, 14, 26. He is a cat.
Yeah.
Growths of 55, 50, 45, 25, 50, 10, 55, 15. So at the very least, his res growth is garbage, but he's got it maxed, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. You hit me.
And that is what you get for hitting me. Lots of fire to the face. And not just any face, all of the face.
Can you just not hit anywhere? Wouldn't you just have to not hit the face, not hit all of it?
You could hit him in the face, or you could hit him in the chin with a fire
Part
attack.
of the face?
Well, yes, but that's not all of the face. That's just part of the face.
Alright. Mordiaki.
Or what if he happens to have pieces of his face just floating around? Because he's a he's secretly he is a weird ghost thing that just connects all of his pieces of his face through some ethereal mumbo jumbo.
Oh no. He's trapped in the pit. It was a trap.
Look out!
Oh, I remember this chapter. This chapter sucks. It just takes a long time. This is what it is.
Because of all the pitfalls.
I'm not afraid of Reese dying. I'm really not.
I think the only thing he has to worry about is the mage right there.
Yeah, and even then, that's not much to worry about. Oh yeah, he is a Raven King. Look at that.
And it's actually, you know, a proper model. I wonder if that's because he's a Laguz.
Probably.
He's a Laguz normally, at least. Yeah, because Soren's was broken, wasn't it? Or at least when he's a normal person, or was that just
His was
missed?
the animation broke the game. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, when he was attacked. I wonder if Randolph's is gonna break when he's attacked.
Maybe. Good thing I put Provoke on Daphne.
Nephe's like, yes, fight me. Fuel my rage.
That's very critical.
All that does is remind me of Raphael's and green person whose name I don't remember.
What?
Trying to remember what the name of the sport or the person who's in the sport conversation with Raph. You said her name just a moment ago. Now I don't remember what it is already.
Ignuts?
No, not Ignace. With the whole roaring.
Oh, Flame.
Yeah.
I didn't say her name, but yes.
I thought so. I thought you.
God. They litter this place with pit traps, don't they? It's more irritating than actually like a hazard.
But yeah, yeah, that whole bit where they're like roar, rah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I do like how the characters are. I mean, they're still stereotypes of, you know, certain things, but they actually feel like characters. You get what I mean? They feel like they're more than just their stereotype.
Oh.
Unlike Fates.
Well written?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I was looking for another word, but well written will work.
Depth.
Their characters have depth.
3D. Characters 3-dimensional.
Unlike Fates, whose characters were kind of flat.
Yes.
They were very flat, in fact.
I don't know. Some of them were alright, some of them were bad. It was a real just coin flip on which characters were good and which were bad in the entire game.
I think part of the problem with that was just how many characters there were.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And in my personal opinion, adding in the Awakening characters kind of took away some of the charm to the game. It was like, I felt it took away too much from the game, especially with kind of how bad most of them were.
I think it was like the problem is the fact that you think it's writing too much of Tales of Awakening is what it is there.
Mm-hmm.
And it did a little bit.
I mean, sure, Awakening's characters, lots of them were basically stereotypes as well. But it felt like they were at least... I mean, they weren't well written. A lot of them weren't well written, but there were some of them that just, like, they had some personality to their stereotype, rather than just being, what is my stereotype? I lift weights.
Yeah.
And I'm really strong. By the power of Nephne, they shall be compelled. But yeah, I just had... There's just things with the game, or with the characters, that are just like, it's... Outside of the Lord units, especially in Revelations, there's no point in using anyone else. They're not the Lord units, but you get what I mean, the royalty. But I think my biggest issue was just how awful Owain's stats were. Everything was just poorly optimized for what type of unit he was supposed to be.
A lot of the characters in the game had bad stats, aside from like a handful of like good ones.
Looking at you, buff ogre lady.
Rinka, yeah.
Yeah. I knew her name started with an R. Where your whole thing should be that you're buff.
your strength stats to be higher than that.
And
At
it's
all
like,
times.
why is... Again, I think it's... They messed up... I personally think that they messed up when they were programming the stats, and like somebody jumped something in the spreadsheet when they were assigning them.
Yeah, it makes sense. Considering if I remember right, in like actual like character data, ranked as the first character after 0.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up just like voting.
But yeah, that's my personal thoughts. When we get around to randomizing it and playing through that, things will be fixed.
God man, people just falling in holes left and right.
I mean, you'd think at this point that they were,
Should we make a safe stay and see if this can break the game?
that sounds like a good idea. Emulation, safe state. Okay.
Alright. Oh man, he's got the silver blood. God, what a disappointing sword master. Look at that.
I'm
Punk
here to
ass-
just look intimidating. I'm not actually.
It's a punk ass sword master with 8 strength. He's only got 14 speed.
I'm just here to look cool. Don't mind me. I mean, we are also playing on normal mode.
Still. Tink.
Mordecai just flexes. And the arrows bounce off. He's like, I'm not even flying the dragon. What's really happening is I'm holding the dragon and then jumping and pushing the air down so fast that I hover in place.
There's a lot of other, like, weird stat allocation characters in 14.
Yep.
Hey, look,
He's
there's one up there at the bottom. I was like, wait, where's Har? And then I like saw the Ike running on the water at the bottom.
Looks like you need to move Jill back that way.
Yeah. I think that is a yes. And the Raven King still breaks. Okay.
Kind of curious as to why it breaks.
Mm,
But it probably has to do something with the 3D models.
maybe. We get to see Har run on the pit again. Oh.
That was some good stuff there.
Yep.
Because he's also like he jumps up there.
Yep.
It's like Har's got hops. Jumping trees, jumping cliffs.
Oh god.
He could potentially be very dead. That makes him very, very dead.
Guarantees your death.
Now you sleep while you die. Here, let me push you over this thing so you can sleep with the fishes. They've been looking for some sleeping partners. They need a warm body.
God, fuck. Ugh.
Somebody who can actually survive Mordecai. Wow.
No, Mordecai's just slow. He's normally.
Not terribly slow, but yeah, definitely not the fastest in the universe. There's no barter.
I'm finally using up the short spear. I forgot about how long. Can they not use the ballista? Does it have to be enemy only?
I think you can. I don't know. Maybe. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you should be able to use it, but... I'm not saying anything saying that you can't. Range of 3 to 10.
Maybe they weren't close enough.
We may have the problem, though. Well, I guess Har hasn't transformed yet, has he?
No, he hasn't, which is why I'm not worried.
45 strength. It's so good.
She's capped. Otherwise, would have gone up.
Hello, green people. Lucia and Bastion. We get them next chapter, don't we?
Yeah, so. Oh, okay,
Yep.
there you go. One damage. Q.
We're getting
That's
so close to the
damage.
end. We've got 6 more chapters. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, 6 more chapters. And then you have the challenge maps at the very end, but we don't really care about those.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Not really worth the risk to lose him.
I'm not gonna lose him. I just don't want to fucking bother. I'd rather have to get the experiences. I'm not gonna use them. Oh.
But anywho, Bastion and Lucia. Are they any good?
Probably not. Speed and luck.
Guess they're further up here. Oh. So, Lucia the General. 4 HP. Base. 19 strength. 8 magic. 3 skill. 2 speed. 22 luck. 17 defense. 18 res.
Yep.
With HP growth of 155.
Sure.
Strength of 65. 35 magic, 80 skill, 35 speed, 0 luck, 30 defense, 15 res.
Fuck this chapter. It's not hurting me, it's just slowing me down.
Bastion the Tiger isn't nearly as good, I guess. Though could also be equally as good, depends on. Bastion the Tiger has 6 HP, 19 strength, 12 magic, 6 skill, 17 speed, 14 luck, 19 defense, 11 res, with growths of 75, 15, 15, 75, 70, 40, 80, 25. Apparently starts with Elwind. I don't know either. He has it. He has A rank swords, B rank fire, C rank thunder, A rank wind.
Why?
He also has the skill Colossus and Knife.
Another unit with knife.
He may be pretty good when we get him. I mean, he's certainly no Nefni, but at this point, nobody's as good as Nefni. He's also 3 levels from Cap.
Yeah.
So when we get him, we can look, see if he's worth continuing to use.
Is it at the end of the chapter they join, or?
Beginning of the next chapter.
Oh, okay.
Bastion joins at the beginning of turn 2.
Oh, okay.
So Bastion, Lucia, turn 2 of the next chapter. I go first, always. Vantage is so good in this game.
What's in this game? Every other thing you gotta be half dead before you start trying to kill somebody else first.
Have we already tried to kill Har? Or have you...
No, Har walked forward already.
Ah.
He hasn't attacked anyone, but I think that's just because he can't.
Sucks to be you, Har. Har, 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 har. Imagine the balls they have to just walk up to a giant dragon to attack them. We've had this conversation before, but... I mean, I would be terrified, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd probably be terrified too if I fucking had killed something while riding on a smaller thing and it's looking me in the eyes.
I am kind of curious, though, as to why they gave the Wyverns
like
arms.
3 times my size, and the fighting me about 4 times my size.
So weird, though, that they gave the Wyverns arms.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stealing our experience.
What experience?
That experience.
That was regular ass art. He was giving much.
But our weapon experience.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do shit. Fucking Cavalier's the boss.
I think it'd be funny they all miss.
Jesus Christ. How shite are they?
Very.
What? Hits 89, avoid 44? Why does this man have so much void?
He was taking all of the drugs.
He has... Is it because she's there?
Ah, that's probably what it is, Daunt.
But that's 5.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's because they're attacking into 3. And that's why they've got lower...
How that works?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never used Daunt. I don't even know if you can. Might be enemy only. I'm supposed to do some stuff.
Does he have more movement than he should?
I don't know.
She's at 9 transformed, and he's not transformed yet.
It has 9.
Yeah.
Maybe he does. Or maybe it's just because the game thought that he's supposed to be a wyvern and gave him 9.
Maybe? I don't know. I'm just gonna finish this chapter and stop because I'm hungry and I need to eat stuff.
Sounds good. And then I will get into the process of chopping this video up, submitting it onto the YouTubes because we're running out of the YouTube's content.
Just because you're a little bitch.
Oh, because I haven't gotten around to editing our the Pokemon Emerald stuff that we're doing Emerald right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Pokemon Emerald stuff yet because I'm kind of waiting till we have more. I mean, I guess I could probably chop it up as necessary, but I want to wait till we have at least half of it together, given that it's kind of a race that we're doing, sort of.
Oh no, this man put himself in the worst possible spot.
But yeah. No, Bartholomew! Trying to remember, did Manakits have 2 range in Shadow Dragon?
No.
They were 1 range?
Yep. The only time the dragon had 2 range was in Awakening.
Wait, they didn't have range. They didn't have 2 range in Fates?
No.
Alright, I guess because Corrin had the Yato. And the Yato had range 2 for some reason.
No,
it didn't?
No.
Did Awaken have range 2? I swore they had a range 2 thing.
They do have range swords in 14, but there's not bad. If that's what you're get at.
Maybe it was something else.
I don't know what else you could be thinking about.
I misread the trivia down at the bottom of the wiki section for Dragonstones. And I was thinking it was like Batu, male Corrin.
Okay.
Basically it's like our playable male characters who have dragon stones.
Yeah, the only characters who use dragon stones.
Well, yeah, but what I was thinking was like referring to Batu as male Corrin. I was like, what?
Oh.
No.
No, any of this works.
Absolutely none of it works this way. Yeah, it's sturdy apparently. Interesting. So apparently in...
kill a wyvern rider. Like, not the wyvern itself, but just the rider.
How would you kill just the rider?
Yeah, with like an arrow or something, like you shoot the rider off the wyvern or something like that. With the wyvern just spinning out of control like a helicopter. Blows up when it crashes.
So apparently in the S rank support between Na and Brady, apparently dragon stones can be used to transfer half of a Manicheet's life force to a human.
That sounds about right.
Which is like, huh, that's kind of interesting. Though technically she heard that it's like it was something that came from Nawi and doesn't know if that's actually true or not. Let's test it out. I like Brady.
He's a cool guy.
I didn't really use him in my second run of the game. Or my first run of the game. Or just about any run of my game. I mean, I also didn't use Yarn. I got him, but then just never got around to using... Never felt the need to use him. I mean, when you have Lucina and Morgan paired up, you don't need anyone else. But it also, I think, was at the point where I stopped using Pan. And I didn't really use... I think I'd paired Pan and Stall up together. Both characters I didn't generally use. And so I got Yarn and it was like, hey, it's not that great. And in Lunatic mode, everything around here murders him in one hit, so I'm gonna get him. But that's about it. He's not gonna go through the ridiculous limit breaker grind that I put everyone else through. Good times.
Oh, that's weird. The long sword is more accurate
Interesting.
than steel. That's weird. It's a lot weaker.
Hello. Mi llamo Darth Vader. Tu me tastre. Just about everyone I know. Something, something, prepare to die. Those aren't your lyrics, Darth Vader. Oh,
Lyrics, Darth Vader.
You're also supposed to be
Darth Vader
singing. Yes, he's supposed to be singing that, but because of his damage to his lungs, it sounds like he's normally talking. Man, imagine if one of the dragons had Colossus. It would be so good.
Be strong.
I mean, because at that point it'd just be a free bonus to damage.
It'd be overkill. It would be.
Yes, it would, especially on Nephne. You'd be like, death to everything!
No, I need you to understand, when they're transformed, they get stupid huge.
Yeah.
But 80 weight and 36
Well,
build.
it's based off of the build, yeah.
Nice.
But imagine that, and it's as long as your build is higher than the enemy's, you do more damage. Or something like that. I mean, there might be a limit to it, but it just would be so good.
Come on, man.
Yeah, if your con is higher than the enemy's con, multiply strength by 1.25.
Hmm.
Though it has a percentage activation chance of skill, it looks like.
The Great Bridge. More like the Great Bitch. Done.
This bridge means nothing to me. Breaks the bridge. Oops. This is no Bridge of Eldon.
There.
And here's an interesting question. Do you think, how would any of the other gods from Fire Emblem fare against Demise?
I don't know.
That's also a game we should probably try playing.
Which one?
Skyward Sword.
That's the game.
Trying to get that figured out, though. Because I don't have the stuff to emulate. Well, I've got the stuff to emulate it. But I don't have the stuff to stream it to my from the Wii that I may or may not have borrowed from Blue permanently. He let me borrow it, and then I just never give it back. That was 7 years ago.
Oh no.
Good times. But yeah, we're...
Hey, Silverblade.
It's like the end of us doing this tonight. Join us next time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. We don't know.
More people will die. Yay!
Yay! Something like that. Gurmy Defrog here.
Gurmy Defrog.
But yes, we will see you all next time. Have a good night, and early well.
It's slimy and smells like pork. With the frog fingers.